All right. What's going on, guys? Sorry about the hair. Come on, Neil. Just waiting on my co-host. A couple minutes, guys. Come on, Neil. All right, Neil, come on screen, buddy. There we are.
Hey, can
What's
you hear
going
me?
on? Yeah.
Not much.
Am I sideways this time?
No.
Good.
Well, I tried to do mine when it was straight up and down, and it told me to rotate it to be like this.
Oh, because this is much easier than my tablet, then. Maybe I should start doing it this way.
Yeah,
People could probably hear me better this way, too.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Good. All right. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I got a special request for the first question because I don't think he's going to be able to watch the whole podcast. So I tagged you in earlier this morning. It was a tweet that Tony Dungy tweeted out. And it said, please, NFL, do us a favor and don't let coaches challenge any more pass interference calls. You're causing teams to lose timeouts, making your officiating department look inept, and making us fans feel stupid, like we don't know the meaning of clear, obvious, and significant. Do you have any comment on that?
Well, they've enforced. I'm trying to remember the number that they announced on. I think it was Thursday Night Football, or maybe it was Sunday night. It was like something ridiculous, like 5 out of 57 calls have been overturned. Why even have it?
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous. So if you're not going to use it and use it for the intents that it was intended for, get rid of it. It's a waste of time.
Right. No, I mean, I agree with you. I think that they're doing it intentionally. Like, they're intentionally not overturning a lot of these calls because the officials don't like the pass interference rule, and they don't like that they're being questioned about their judgment. So either they need to have like a huge meeting with clear as day pass interference calls that were just purposely not overturned. Did I lose you again? But that's just the way I look at it. So I don't know what your call is. Hopefully I can get you back here because I lost you. So you guys are gonna have to give me a second again. There we go. We've been having this issue lately with him. I don't know why. Adding him. Just give it a second. Come on, get in here. It says it's trying to add him. I don't know why it's taking forever. This is the most awkward part of a live video. And this happened to me 2 weeks in a row now. I did, Neil. It's trying to add you now. Hang on, There. I'll try again. It's adding you now. He declined the invitation. I can't bring him up though. Check. Let me post in the group.
I can hear you all the way through it.
You could?
Yeah, quit cussing me out.
I'm not cussing you out, but it's the situation. It's the most awkward part of a live video.
Oh, I know.
Shit. Like right now. Anyway.
You know what it is?
What?
The damn knuckleheads in chat keep freaking dinging in, and it's pausing my feed.
Oh. Do you want to silence your chats real quick and then come back?
Yeah. Just re-add or send me another join, and I'll click on it when I get to it.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll be back.
Okay. Stop. Get these technical difficulties worked out on Neil's end real quick. He's in too many group chats. It's causing his video to freeze, so he's got to mute those. But I think they should just do away with the pass interference challenge thing because they're really insulting our intelligence at this moment by purposely not overturning some of these calls because there are some blatant, like absolutely blatant, not call at all. So, I mean, that's just my 2 cents on it. Just a second, guys. Thank you, Jeffrey. So I'll just start with the first question, and I'll ask him when he gets back on there. Did Lamar Jackson officially silence his critics with the way his team beat New England this Sunday? All right, Neil, I'm adding you. Might as well wait now. He's coming back. I sent you the ad. There we go.
Right, I hope I'm ready. That's freaking annoying.
Right? I'm glad I keep them all silent so I don't have that problem. But I just read the first question. I didn't get to answer it because you came back faster than I thought you were going to. So, did Lamar Jackson officially silence his critics with the way his team beat New England this Sunday?
I mean, I thought, I thought he was actually leveled up as a quarterback before the season even started.
You did.
He still needs to work on a lot of things, his throwing mechanics and everything. He tends to revert back to his old ways of throwing the ball, but I think if they stay on top of it, I mean, he's a problem. They actually, Bill Belichick actually called him that when they somebody was interviewing him and they asked him give him 3 words on Lamar Jackson, and he said he's a problem. Which
right.
He is, because if you think about it, there's no other quarterback in the league at this point in time that has his running ability. I mean, he's faster than a lot of running backs. And
he is. He's fast.
He's got some wiggle to him too. Plus he can throw the ball. He's got an arm. He can throw it really deep. Accuracy sometimes is an issue, but that's something that can be worked on. My old coach told me there's one thing you can't teach, and that's speed. And
yeah.
He's got that for days. So, I think he definitely opened up the.
Right. Okay. Well, there you go.
I'm here. One of my random assholes freaking chiming in now. God, I can't shut off everything because it would take me an hour.
Right.
But he is a problem. He's a dangerous quarterback. I think he's more dangerous than Michael Vick ever was, even in Michael Vick's prime.
Yeah, I said that to somebody at work last week when I was at work that I think that he's a better version of Michael Vick. Everyone knows at the beginning of the season I wasn't a big believer in Lamar Jackson. It was hard to be because watching him melt down last year was difficult to watch as a fan, and knowing the history of quarterbacks that play his style, it was really hard to get behind and believe that he was going to be for real. I'm really glad that he proved me wrong because I like the kid. I've never had a problem with him personally. It was just the style of ball they played, and he's proven me wrong, and he's on his way to being an elite quarterback in this league. He hasn't done it long enough for me to put him in like the elite category yet, but he's playing like he would be an elite quarterback. And Baltimore hasn't had an elite quarterback ever, so
No.
like this is new for them, new territory, and their defense is playing well. They're well coached. And yeah, I think he silenced his critics. I mean, he went out there and he beat the GOAT on primetime television, and didn't just beat him; he destroyed him. And against one of what people were trying to call like one of the best defenses of all time, that I think was very overrated. But I mean, I'm not technically an analyst, so I mean that's what they're saying. So that you got to give it to him for that. So. Yeah, he silenced his critics, in my opinion. So,
Bro,
right.
Your feed is breaking up.
Huh?
Your feed is breaking up bad.
I mean, Wi-Fi. I don't know. I'm right next to my router. I don't know if I can't really do anything more. Hopefully.
Okay. Well, I just let you know.
Okay. Hopefully, it's just on your end. If anybody else starts hearing me break up, please let me know. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. The next question: can the Philadelphia Eagles and the LA Chargers both make the playoffs in their conference despite slow starts?
I think yes on both because let me look at my notes here. Here we go. The Chargers are right now they're 2 games out of the division lead behind Kansas City, and they're a half game back of the Raiders. I believe they can overtake the Raiders. They have pretty mild schedule the rest of the way out. They're at Oakland, home against Kansas City, at Denver, at Jacksonville, home against Minnesota, home against Oakland and at Kansas City. So by my count, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can sneak an upset in there. They upset Green Bay last week. Nobody called that. So definitely should be 4 wins there, possibly 5, maybe 6. So I think that would be enough to get them. I mean, they're 4 or 5 right now. 6 would put them at 10-6.
Right.
5 would be 9-7. They might be able to slide in as a wild card at 5-7. Philadelphia, I believe, has a better shot at it because they're a half game back in Dallas right now, and Dallas has a rough schedule the rest of the way out. They got Minnesota at home, at Detroit, at New England, Buffalo at home, at Chicago, Rams at home, Philly, and Washington at home. So, and then in contrast, Philly has New England at home, Seattle at home, at Miami, Giants at home, at Washington, Dallas at home, and at the Giants. Philly could probably win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for sure, possibly 6, and they might even beat New England. Who knows? They could win out.
I mean, I don't think they're going to beat New England, but
Dude, you froze up. Yeah.
Did I? Can you hear me?
You sound like a robot. There you that time.
Yeah, I've had that happen on your end to me before on previous podcasts before. So, robots sound cool. Anyways, yeah, I think they both can. I don't think the Chargers will, but they definitely can because the AFC is very weak, and I could see one of the wild cards being an 8-8 or 9-7 team, somewhere around there in the doable. Like you said, their schedule's soft. I don't think they're going to beat Oakland tonight, but like the rest of that schedule is pretty weak. They could sneak an upset in there. So I'm not even going to it's like a win, and I lost them again. Going to keep going here. But Yeah, I think the Chargers can make it. I just think they have the least chance. I think the Eagles they're just fighting with Dallas.
This is fucking crazy.
Hey, if it helps you next time you come on, instead of silencing chats, sign out a messenger.
Huh? Dude, I didn't understand a word you said.
I said next time, just instead of silencing chats, silence messenger. Anyways, the Eagles are just fighting with Dallas, and they got a much easier schedule left than Dallas. One of the hardest schedules left to go through in the league, and the Eagles have already played a lot of their tougher games. I know they got New England, but outside of that, their schedule's pretty soft for the rest of the way out. So I could see New England winning or Philly winning all but one or two of their games for the rest of the season. So Dallas would have to pull off some like monumental feat to even keep up with the Eagles. Oh, sorry guys, I bumped my table. But yeah, so I have the Eagles winning the East. I know a lot of Dallas fans aren't going to like that, but that's what I have. So I think that'll be a lot easier for them, only competing with one team as opposed to 4 or 5, like the Chargers. Okay, so should people who were high on Sam Darnold have second thoughts or at least be concerned with his recent performances? I think for the season, yeah. I mean, he's lost all his confidence. And there's no hope for him right now. I think that team's given up on the coaching staff. Adam Gase is terrible. So I don't think that there's a lot of hope this season. I think they got a lot of talent on that team individually. They just got to learn how to work as a team, and they got to be better well coached. Gase is the worst head coach I've ever seen, and that's sad because Freddie Kitchens is a head coach. He's just terrible. I seen him during a game in Miami. They're playing Miami, and he's sitting on the sideline away from the team doodling on a notepad instead of trying to do game plans and coach his team. And that's not a good coach. And Neil, I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, so what I was trying to tell you earlier is instead of silencing chats, before you get on for the podcast, try signing out of Messenger. And then sign back in after the podcast is over. And then you're getting no notifications. Like today hopefully I don't get none because I'm signed in here, but usually my tablet's always signed out, so I don't have that problem. So, but right now we're talking about. Go ahead.
I haven't got another message, but you're still breaking up right now.
Do you have good service?
Yeah, I got 4G.
Am I breaking up to anybody watching? Jeff, am I breaking up? Because if it's me, I can switch back to my tablet. But
were you talking about Adam Gase?
Yeah, we were talking about Adam Gase. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, my whole 2 cents on that thing is, yeah, he doesn't deserve to be a head coach. He's horrible. But there's a problem and the problem is that when he joined the Jets, he had a hand in getting the GM fired. And then he would turn around and handpicked his own GM. So good luck firing him.
Yeah, they're kind of in a lose-lose. They're in a lose-lose situation here.
Yeah, and what he did to Miami, I feel bad for that coaching staff down there, Brian Flores and them, because they've got a long, long road ahead of them to get that built back up. Adam Gase is scourge to the NFL, if you ask me. He has no business being out there being a head coach.
Yeah, I agree, and he hasn't really had success anywhere that he's gone. It's and then like the guy's got no leadership qualities. Like I said, you weren't on here before, but I was just telling people that I seen him during the game this week doodling on a notepad instead of trying to lead and coach his team earlier. It was nowhere near his team. It was like right on TV, and it was like,
yeah,
it was like what?
I saw that. I heard you talking about it, and I think he's, believe it or not, he's worse than Josh McDaniel. And Josh McDaniel's a really slimy character, especially with his past track record of what he did to Indy, being the head coach and then backing out, and without really giving him any warning to find another head coach. Yeah, he's a scumbag.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think much of him as a person at all. All right, next question. How bad are the Browns?
The Browns are as bad as their offensive line and as their play calling. I know this is Grant's question. He's just trolling because he needs to feel better about Detroit and Detroit's woes. So he's going to sit there and try and nitpick at me because I'm on this show. But
I figured it was a troll, but it's a legit question, so I went with it.
Yeah, he's I'm gonna play the game for him and make him feel better about himself. But Freddie Kitchens needs to hand over the play calling duties. Bottom line, he needs to give them to the OC. That's what the OC is there for. It's
right.
Not to be a spotter for Freddie Kitchens while he's up in the booth. And it's very infuriating because at the skill positions, you got to admit they've got excellent talent at the skill positions.
Oh, everywhere.
Baker, Landry, and Njoku could make Josh Rosen look like a good quarterback. Or I'm sorry,
Yep.
OBJ, Landry.
I know what you meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not. I'm not absconding Baker from this totally because he has made some boneheaded decisions, but
Yeah.
he also doesn't have a lot of time to make decisions.
Right. If I can interject a little bit, I was placing pretty much all the blame on Kitchens, I'm not taking him out because he's not good. Okay, like he's just not. But I have noticed that Baker is definitely hitting us. It's not all the offensive line and the coaching staff, because I was watching their game against Denver, and I was specifically watching Baker, and he's definitely hitting a sophomore slump. He is staring down receivers from the start that he gets the ball to when he throws it, and he's missing wide open guys. Odell Beckham should have had 250 receiving yards last week. Like, he was open all over the place, and he was missing them.
I know.
That's why I think Odell got pissed, because he was wide open all day.
I don't know. There was so much that he was. When he threw his way, he was missing them. But like on that very last play, the play that ended the game essentially, I don't think he even saw him.
No, that's what I meant by missing. Like, he's not seeing.
Yeah. And Odell had a step and a half on the defender, on Chris Harris.
Yeah.
So all he had to do was throw it out in front of him. Odell would have caught up with it, and that'd have been 6. Easy.
Right. And it's crazy to see.
I was just going to say, Chris Harris is not running Odell down from behind.
No. And it's crazy to see a guy with Odell's talent and his history only have 1 touchdown through 8 games. Because that guy scores double-digit touchdowns every year he's healthy. So, I get where he's starting to get frustrated. Yards-wise, he's really not doing that bad. He's on pace for over 1,000 yards. But that's just not acceptable for a guy like him, especially when crunch time. Like, guys that that casual football fans have never heard of are getting more targets in games than Odell Beckham is, and that's not good.
No.
Like, I know some games are going to be like that. Like, once in a while, you're going to use Odell as a decoy more than your go-to, but that should not be like that on a consistent basis.
Right.
Especially when he's open. It'd be different if, like, they're really falling for the decoy and he's, like, double and triple covered and Landry's wide open. But Baker's I think he really needs to have one really good game. Because he's had a good game, a few good games, all right games, but he hasn't had that one phenomenal game yet. Like, I think he needs to have that one, like, really good game to make him that cocky Baker Mayfield again and get his confidence back.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen this week because they're playing a pretty solid pass defense. I think you're going to see a lot of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt this game because Buffalo has proven that they can be run on. Adrian Peterson hit him for 100 plus. So, I mean, if he can do it, and I'm not knocking him, I'm just saying because dude's old, and
he is old.
He doesn't have the wheels he used to have, and he doesn't have the shake that he used to have, or the strength even. So if he can hit it for 100, I think Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, combined, can definitely have a big day on the ground. And I think, and that's, for all the shit I give the offensive line, they are a pretty decent run blocking offensive line. They just collectively.
Their issues pass blocking for sure.
Yeah.
All right. What should Matt Nagy do? Should he risk losing his locker room because he wants to make Trubisky into a good quarterback, or should he officially move on from Trubisky in hopes of saving his locker room?
Well, I think he should move on because, one, Trubisky is not his quarterback. He didn't draft him. That was during John Fox era. And so he has no ties to him. He's, in my opinion, probably done all he can do for the kid. And if he's not learning, then he's not going to get any better. Chase Daniel is a very capable backup, probably one of the better ones in the league. So, yeah, before he loses that locker room, he better do something because they're facing a serious problem in the fact that they could very well end up in the bottom of this division after being at the top last year.
Right. Yeah, I think they should move on too. I think it's a huge problem when your future franchise quarterback comes back and your offense gets extremely worse.
Yep.
Because Chase Daniel, they weren't blowing nobody away with their offense, right? But he at least could move the ball a little bit and salvage some offensive drives and make them look at least somewhat competitive on that side of the ball. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't knocking the ball out of the park or anything like that by any means, but they didn't have 9 yards at halftime against anybody. Like, and they did against the Eagles last week. It's just Trubisky has the worst quarterback vision I've ever seen. Like, he does not know. It's the same problem I said with Baker, but Baker's not as bad as Trubisky. It's like he gets his primary guy and he'll look there and that's it. He won't look anywhere else. If the primary guy is covered, he doesn't know what to do.
Yep. Well, to extend to that point, you got a very capable wide receiver too on the team in Anthony Miller. And
that they don't use.
Exactly. They used fairly high draft capital to get the kid. He's proven that he can be a downfield threat, and Trubisky locks on to Robinson,
Robinson,
and that's it. If he's going to throw it to him regardless if he's open or not, and hope that he can go up and win a 50-50 ball. And I saw the article where when he was going through House Hall, he was demanding all the televisions be shut off because he got tired of people talking.
I read that. Yep, I read that.
You know what? Do something, bud. Go out and change their opinion.
Right. Don't change the channel. Change their opinions.
Yep.
He also doesn't utilize Trey Burton, which is mind-blowing to me.
Right, especially with all the money they gave him.
Yeah, and that kid's got a lot of talent. Like, I would be feeding him the ball as much as I could. Like, man, especially for a quarterback like Trubisky. Like, your tight end is like your safety, like your safety net. Like, that's your, like, if I'm in trouble, that's your go-to right there. Like I'm in trouble, where's the tight end? Like, they're usually running the shorter routes, you know what I mean, down the field most of the time, with the exception of certain plays, but most of the time they're running. It's like your running back out of the backfield, right?
Exactly.
But Trubisky does not utilize his tight end, and it's. I am lucky I'm not a Bears fan. I hate it, so I laugh because I hate the Bears. But, like, if I was a Bears fan, I would be so frustrated. Like, how can you not find the tight end? Like, if your primary is covered and you struggle at looking somewhere else, just at least know in your head that my tight end's around here somewhere. But he doesn't do that. And Trubisky's the worst starting quarterback in the league. I'm just not going to cover that up anymore. I keep trying to give him chances, but I wanted the kid to be good. I really did. Once he got drafted by the Bears, I didn't want him to, but coming out of college, I wanted him to be good. But he just doesn't have what it takes to be a professional quarterback.
No.
So, all right. Who's in a worse position moving forward, the Cincinnati Bengals or the Washington Redskins?
I don't know. I did a little research on this, and it's really a toss. Washington is, if they would have stuck with Keenum, then I would say Cincinnati, because Keenum is the better quarterback. Between him and this Finley kid, I mean, he's a rookie, behind a horrible offensive line. So, I'm really on the fence, but I think I'm going to lean a little more towards Cincinnati, because they are going with a rookie quarterback. AJ Green just announced today that he's not going to be back for a while.
Yeah, still swelling up.
Swelling going on. Yeah, he's got swelling going on in his foot, and so he's back out to be indefinitely. Back out indefinitely. I can't even speak. They both have pretty rough schedules the rest of the way out. Cincinnati's got Baltimore at Oakland, Pittsburgh, Jets at Cleveland, New England at Miami, Cleveland. And Washington's got the Jets, Detroit at Cleveland, at Green Bay, Philly at Giants, and at Dallas. So
Washington's going to lose out.
The only game I see them even having a shot at winning is the Miami game for Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think
that's in Miami.
Right, I think Washington's going to lose out. They're going to go 1-15. They're not winning another game. Cincinnati might win that Miami game, but that's going to be a toss-up. So, and that would be, if they win that, that's their only game they're going to win. So,
well, even if Cincinnati wins one game, they're still going to have a tie record. So, it'll come down to whatever the tiebreaker is.
Well, tiebreakers usually head-to-head, but if you got three teams with a tie, then it goes to a different tiebreaker. And I'm not sure what one that is, but if there's three teams that won win, there could be. I mean, well, there's only going to be three teams that won win. It's either going to be Miami or the Jets with one win, because they play each other again. So unless they tie,
right.
But all right, yeah, I think Cincinnati's in a worse spot too. I mean, Washington's got some rookies that they can build with, that I think are good. I think Cincinnati's pretty much screwed. Like Ryan Finley, I mean, I don't think there's anybody who really thinks he's the answer in Cincinnati. They got aging AJ Green. They're like John Ross is never going to be anything. Joe Mixon can't run because they don't have an offensive line, so they'd have to rebuild that whole thing. So you're already looking at like 7-8 pieces already just off of that. And I haven't even hit the defense yet. You know what I mean? Like it's awful. Washington's at least got some. I mean, Haskins doesn't look good yet, but he's a rookie. I'm not going to give up on him this quickly. He's only played a game and a half. Like, so I can't throw in the towel on him that quick. You got Geis. You don't know how he's going to come back from injury, but if let's say he does, then they got a quarterback and a running back, so they have potential to be in a better situation than Cincinnati does. McLaurin's good. So they got some pieces. They're not in great shape. They're not they're not going to contend for a while, but they got potential pieces where Cincinnati doesn't even have that. So by a slight margin, I got to say Cincinnati's in a worse spot than Washington, just by potential. So that's all I got now. How does the AFC look now that the Pats were exposed?
No, I mean, well, yes and no. No, to the point that, like Belichick said, Lamar Jackson is a problem, and he proved to be a problem. Um, you know, I think it was more of the Patriots haven't played anybody yet, and Baltimore come out and just straight punched them right square in the mouth and caught them off guard. And it took them a little bit, but they kind of got back into the game. So I mean, I think the Patriots are going to be all right as far as that goes. They can't allow themselves, obviously, to get a slow start like that. They don't, they're a good team all around, regardless of how anybody feels about them. I call them the way I see them, and I was shocked. They got down 17-0. I was like, well, what's going on here? I mean,
Right.
and then, and then Brady kind of, he got that cold, dead look in his eyes, and then you knew that, okay, you guys better buckle up because here they come. And the defense started playing a little better, tighten things down. It's just, when you're playing Baltimore, they're going to run the ball. You just don't know who it is it's going to be. They run the quarterback read so well. Whether he's going to give it to wow, why am I locking up?
Ingram,
there you go. You don't know if he's going to give it to Ingram or he's going to hold on to it and take off himself. And
right. And they have multiple running backs, so
yeah, and Gus Edwards, he scored. They got that Justice Hill kid that looks pretty promising. So when they come in there with two tight ends and one in the backfield, that's a problem. It's just you just don't know where the ball's going. Really, they play. They just hide it so well in their play action and everything. So, no, I don't think they were so much exposed as they were just manhandled at the very beginning of the game.
Right. How does the AFC look now that the Pats were exposed? I don't know if they were necessarily exposed, even though I've been going on about how I think they were exposed. I think their defense was exposed. I don't think they're as great as anybody said they were, and I'm pretty sure that people have kind of backed off on that now. Because the 2000 Ravens never gave up 30-some points to anybody. So, best defense in history? No, don't think so. So back up now. Okay, I think their defense was exposed a little bit. I'm not saying it may still be a good defense, and I fully expect the Pats to be able to contend when it comes to the playoffs. Belichick's too good of a coach, okay? Like, they're not out of it. But I don't think they're the best team in the AFC. It's between them, Baltimore and Kansas City, healthy Kansas City team. But I would take Kansas City if Patrick Mahomes is 100%. So that's my opinion on who's the best in the AFC. And I just don't think New England has the offensive firepower anymore to compete with Kansas City at full strength. So Kansas City, New England, Baltimore is how I'd put them. I know Baltimore just beat New England, but Baltimore also got wrecked by Cleveland. So, it depends on.
And that just falls back onto my point. It wasn't that Cleveland is a better team all around when they beat Baltimore and they straight smoked them in Baltimore. It's that they come out and manhandle them. It's hard to coach against a team when you're being manhandled at point of attack.
Yeah.
And exactly what Baltimore did to New England. They out-schemed them. They just manhandled them.
Yeah, you're never going to out-coach New England, so nobody ever better use that excuse. So.
Right. So, and I think that's a lot of what that was. So, Baltimore is a very dangerous team. Like I said, I think that Cleveland come out and just straight, just socked them in the mouth. They didn't hit him just once; they hit him a couple, 3 times, and Baltimore couldn't recover. They just didn't, they were just got too far down. The defense for Cleveland played a really probably their best game of the year, hands down.
And hats off to Harbaugh for not taking his foot off the gas either. Even when they went up 17-0. I know New England kind of fought back in it a little bit, but he kept his foot on the gas pedal. And he, they had a couple faltered drives there in the middle, but that wasn't him trying to run out the clock or play conservative. That was just drives that didn't work. And then after that, they went firing again. I mean, they put up 37 points against New England. So, when I say that you can't outcoach New England, it's no disrespect to Baltimore's coaching staff because I think Harbaugh's an excellent coach. So he probably came out with probably the best game plan you could have against Belichick. Harbaugh has always given Belichick trouble, though. And I know they got a winning record against Baltimore, but if you look at their games, they are always close. Like, they come down to the wire. Baltimore's beaten them a couple times in the playoffs. So he knows how to do it. So it's just whether they have the talent or not to do it. If you were in Miami, what would you do with your first 3 picks in the 2020 draft? They have 3 first-round picks.
This is the question I've been waiting for. I did a lot of research on this one. So you're going to have to give me a few minutes here.
Go ahead. What was yours?
To the person that asked the question, I forgot to write his name down. But
Jeff,
I'm going to tell you
He's
this
on
right now. I'm going to tell you this right now, bud. I hate to say this to you, but this is not going to be a quick rebuild. This is going to take some time. You are absolutely decimated at almost every possible position that's necessary to win games. You're going to need a quarterback, obviously. You need offensive line, obviously. You got a couple good receivers. That Preston Williams had really impressed me this year. He's a good young receiver. Unfortunately, he got hurt. Now. Yeah, unfortunately. But I'm sure he'll rebound back and come back better than ever next year with a little more experience under his belt. Devontae Parker actually has showed up. We had a Devontae Parker sighting in Miami. So, first 3 picks, I don't know. Obviously, if you're going to end up with the first, you're definitely going to get one of the first 3. So, this is from Matt Miller of Bleacher Report. He did the way too early big board. To me, well, if Chase Young is there, you got to take him. If he's there at 1 and you're there at 1, or if he's there at your pick, you got to take Chase Young.
At 1?
Yes.
Over Tua and Joe Burrow?
Tua is overrated. Tua shouldn't even be in the first round.
I agree with you, but Burrow's not, okay? Burrow's not overrated.
Well, let me get to that. Okay? So, you need Chase Young. He is another Nick Bosa, in my opinion. The kid is an absolute freak athlete. He doesn't have the core muscle issues like Bosa had. This is his top 5. He's got Chase Young at 1, Jerry Jeudy from Alabama, wide receiver at 2, Grant Delpit, safety from LSU at 3, A.J. Espinosa, the other edge rusher from Iowa, and then T. Higgins, a wide receiver from Clemson. Okay, you need some offensive line help. There's 2 offensive linemen rated in the first round. As of now, this again is too early. The combine hasn't happened, but as of now, we got Walker Little and Andrew Thomas, both tackles. Little's out of Clemson, Thomas is out of Georgia. They are the 10th and 13th overall rated players right now. You need offensive line help. Personally, I would go. I think I would grab that D end, and then I grab them 2 tackles because you got a second round pick, and you can get you a nice quarterback in the second round, and probably a good running back. This is the first round quarterbacks. You got Justin Herbert, Tua, Jake Fromm, and
Burrow.
Second round rated quarterbacks are
and
Jordan
Shea
Love.
Patterson.
Shea Patterson is not even in the top 2 rounds.
First round.
Bro,
top 10.
Seriously. You're so trolling right now. So like, no, you got You got Jordan Love out of Utah State, who has been compared a lot to Jake Fromm. And then Jacob Eason, the quarterback out of UW. And then you got Jalen Hurts out of Oklahoma.
Why is Hurts in the second? Hurts is better than Tua.
I think so too, but they got him rated in the second round. So you can end up with a Jalen Hurts in the second round. You grab those 2 tackles. Second round. You grab those 2 tackles. Grab yourself Chase Young with your first overall pick. Then grab them 2 tackles in the first round. There's your first round. Your second round, you can get Jalen Hurts, and you can get running backs like Travis Etienne out of Clemson, Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin, DeAndre Swift out of Georgia, or J.K. Dobbins out of Ohio State, also in the second round.
All right. You can, if you're Miami, you could fill all those positions you just said, any of those, and you can wait till the 6th round to grab Shea Patterson, and you still got your franchise quarterback.
Bullshit. Shea Patterson.
Where's your loyalty? Where's your loyalty?
My loyalty? No, I'm not loyal to Shea Patterson. Shea Patterson, I was never on board with that. Dylan McCaffrey is – Shea Patterson can't hold Dylan McCaffrey's jockstrap.
Hey, Shea Patterson played really great in the second half against Penn State.
McCaffrey is so – man, this just pisses me off. Be honest with you.
It really does me too. I'm totally trolling.
I can't wait, bro. I can't wait till he leaves.
Can't wait till next year.
I actually want to go down there and watch him graduate to make sure he does leave.
Yeah,
dude. To me, he's one of the worst Michigan quarterbacks in my lifetime.
Yeah, I agree. I do think he did play very well in the second half against Penn State, but I think that's the only time I've seen him play well in his life. But he was already down 21-0, so a little late. All right, let's move on now. When will the 49ers finally lose?
Well, I don't think it's going to be this week. So
it could be.
They're at home.
They faced a tough game this week.
Yeah, they do have a tough game. I didn't say that they didn't have a tough game, but they're also at home. They got a dominant defense right now. Russell Wilson's going to be running for his life. I just don't. It's not going to be this week, to be honest with you. I didn't look up to see who they got coming up, but yeah,
their schedule's getting tougher.
Okay, let me, and I'll answer the question. Yes, they are going to lose because if they keep rolling the way they do, and as soon as they lock up that number 1 overall seed in the NFC, they're gonna set their starters. Why get them hurt?
Not if they're undefeated. They won't. Just like New England in 07 never sat their starters because they were going for that achievement.
No, that I'm telling you right now, Shanahan don't give 2 shits about that. All he cares about is that number 1 overall seed, getting that home field advantage, and then coast from there.
They're not going to get the number 1 seed.
Bro, what?
They're not going to get the number 1 seed. New Orleans is.
No.
Bro, San Francisco's schedule is too hard from here on out. There's no way that they lose less than 1 game or 1 game or less. There's no way. I don't think New Orleans loses from here on out. So they're going to have to run the table.
No. I don't agree.
All right.
The only thing I agree about is disagreeing.
I picked and you'll see on my picks later, I did pick the 49ers for this week, but if there's a week they're going to lose, it's going to be this week. I seen them last week against Arizona, and they struggle with quarterbacks that can move. Okay, and that's what Russell Wilson does back there. He's going to move, and it caused them a whole lot of issues last Thursday. Kyler Murray made that defense's life a living hell. And Russell Wilson's going to do the same thing, except Russell Wilson is a much better quarterback. So you're going to have some problems. Jimmy G performed last week, but he was performing against Arizona, okay? This is where San Francisco is going to find out if they got a quarterback, because he's going to have to put points on the board in this game, because Russell's going to push him. And I think this is going to be – Huh?
Seattle doesn't have a very good secondary.
No, they don't. I'm not talking about, like, it's necessarily going to be tough for Jimmy G, like, in terms of talent. I'm saying he's going to have to put a lot of points on the board to win this game, because I don't think they're going to hold Seattle. Seattle just scores, and they score, and they score, and they score, and that's what they do. Russ is going to move around just like Kyler Murray did, and he's going to hit a much better receiving core than Arizona's got for a lot of big gains. San Francisco has been so successful because their defensive line has disrupted the quarterbacks, causing the secondary to be able to get turnovers. That's not going to happen this week. I do have San Francisco winning this game. I think it's going to be a really good game, and I would not be shocked at all if Seattle won this game. San Francisco plays Arizona again next week. I don't know who does the scheduling, but too many people that happens to too many teams this year where they play a team with the 2 times within 3 weeks. I don't know why this year they're doing that, but it happens a lot. They'll win that game again, and then they go through a tough stretch. They're going to lose games in there. They're going to have to play the Rams, the Seahawks again.
The Rams,
I believe they got – Huh?
The Rams are in turmoil right now. The Rams aren't a threat to San Francisco.
Divisional games are always tough.
I understand that, but San Francisco is just too good off.
They got to play the Packers. And I'm trying to think of who else they have to play. What AFC side is that side playing?
I'm just trying to remember. I want to say it's the South, ain't it?
Is it the South?
Yeah. Wait a minute. I guess we can go back and take a look real quick. Yeah. Oh, no.
It is the South?
Oh, no. I was wrong. I was looking at the wrong team. Yeah, I honestly can't answer. It's not the South because.
Oh, it's they're gonna have to play Baltimore. They're playing because they killed Cleveland. Remember?
Yeah.
They're gonna have to play Baltimore.
The North,
and, that's not easy either. So they got some tough games coming up.
Yeah, well, it's gonna depend on where that game is with Baltimore.
I'm just saying it's not gonna be easy regardless.
Oh no.
So they got Packers, Cardinals. Cardinals will still be tough. They're a division game, and they never blow out the Cardinals no matter how good they are. They got Packers, Cardinals, Seahawks, Rams, Ravens in your next 8 games.
Yeah.
Plus Seattle this week. So in your next 6 games, that's how your schedule looks. Like, that is not – they're going to lose some of those games. That's just how it is. So they're not going to go undefeated. That's why I think
I never said they were going to go undefeated.
I was just addressing the question.
Oh, okay.
Who will be the biggest upset of the week? I don't have the schedule right in front of me right now. I have to sign in the messenger so I can read it.
I personally would say Indy.
Who do they play?
I'm sorry. No, not Indy. My fault. My handwriting is horrible. I thought it was somebody else. Upset of the week is going to be Tennessee over Kansas City.
No. With Mahomes back?
They got the blueprint. Tennessee's got the blueprint how to beat Kansas City. Indy showed them. And Tennessee and Indy are pretty similar. Smash mouth football, only they got a bigger hammer to hit with.
Yeah.
Keep the ball away from – Mahomes cannot win the game if he doesn't have the ball.
That's true. I mean, that's true. I can't argue with that. I actually don't have any upsets on my sheet, really. I mean, I have upsets based on like Vegas, but they're not like huge upsets. So I'm gonna have to go Minnesota. They're the biggest upset that I have on here based on Vegas odds that I have on my sheet. So it's not an upset week this week, folks. Tennessee, if Neil's right, Tennessee maybe, but I didn't have that pick, so I don't see any potential major upsets, especially since we got a lot of games that are going to be like close this week. So like there's a lot of good teams that play other good teams. So right now, I mean, it would be Minnesota. They're plus 140. So, who are you talking to, Neil?
I'm not talking to anybody.
Oh, I just got 2 comments that popped up on my sheet from you.
Oh. Well, that was like a while ago.
Anyways, we'll move on from that then because I got nothing for upsets. Minnesota probably the biggest upset I could think of for this week.
Oh, interesting little tidbit. I heard. I don't know how true it is because I didn't go back and take a look. But do you know that every home team won last week?
No, every home team on Sunday won last week.
On Sunday, yeah, that's what I meant.
Because Thursday night, Arizona did not win against San Francisco. So
right.
Yes, I did. I actually did hear that, and that was crazy to me.
Yeah.
That was absolutely – I mean, I know home teams always have the advantage, right? But I don't remember a time where every home team's won. That's insane. That's if you don't count the London game because technically that was a home game for Jacksonville, but it's a neutral site game, so throw that one out. Yeah, that's nuts. Will the Lions have a good game? If they're going to, this is the game to have one because their weakness is defense and Chicago's weakness is offense. So Detroit's going to win this game. Chicago can't beat anybody right now. And Stafford's one of the hottest quarterbacks in the league. So all Stafford's got to do is throw 2 touchdown passes, and this game's over. Unless they pull something out of here that Chase Daniel starts the game, they have no chance of winning this game. And I don't say that for Detroit games very often because Detroit can never seem to put teams away. But when you can't score points and you're facing one of the hottest quarterbacks in the league, even against a bad defense, it's hard. Because Mitch Trubisky's problem isn't because he faces good or bad defenses. It's he can't read through his receivers. So if Slay locks down Robinson, he's screwed. And that's and Slay's not going to have a problem doing that on most of the plays. So he's going to be all over the place. I see the Bears scoring 10, 13 points in this game, and then the Lions fans will go crazy saying their defense is back, but it's not. You just played the Bears. But that's what's going to happen. I got Detroit by like 2 touchdowns in this game, like 27-13. It won't be close.
Sorry, I keep reaching up for my eye, but it's still infected, and I got to clear it out so I can see.
I haven't even really noticed it, to be honest with you, until you pointed it out. Now I'm just going to make fun of you.
Yeah, whatever.
Someone farted on your pillow and gave you pink eye.
At least mine pointed in the same direction, so.
That's so fucked up. God damn.
Leave my eye alone.
What is your prediction for that Lions game?
Man, Chicago, again, this kind of falls back to what I was just saying about Tennessee, Kansas City. If Stafford can't get the ball in his hands, how is he going to win the game? They've got a running back, and Detroit has no run defense. So if they can just sit there and pound David Montgomery 30 times in the game, they have a shot at winning with that defense.
Yep.
So
I can agree with that. And is Nagy smart enough to do that, though? He hasn't proven it yet.
Yeah, they just – I don't know. I mean, it seems like Montgomery's been getting more and more touches the last couple of weeks ever since the whole 7-touch incident.
But even last week, he didn't get the ball until after halftime. They only had 9 yards in the first half. Like, he still can't.
Nagy is. I'm beginning to wonder if him and Gase are related. So I don't know. I mean, it's really that's to me was the hardest game to pick this week. It was really hard to get them, just because I was going back and forth with myself like that, saying, okay, well, Detroit can win if Stafford gets the ball in his hands, but if Chicago runs the ball continuously,
you take the ball out of Stafford's hands.
Takes the ball out of Stafford's hands and puts Stafford in a position where he does get the ball. He's got to go up against that defense, which, Detroit's offensive line has not proven that they can block Khalil Mack. So, it's really a difficult game to predict.
Yeah, we'll get your prediction when we get to that game. I'm going to answer 2 more questions. One of them is from me to you specifically, Neil, and then one of them's the Foles question on here, and then we'll do our picks because we're getting close to game time.
All right.
My question is specifically to you, and I didn't bring this up to you before because you don't need to research it because you are very familiar with the Lions, okay? So are Detroit Lions fans that believe Stafford is still the problem in Detroit, are they delusional?
Yeah, because it's more than that. It takes more than one player to make a team. To me, the problem is they don't draft well. They never have, to be honest. They hit on guys that are, like Barry Sanders and back in the day, Billy Sims, he only
Megatron.
Stafford because he got injured. But
Stafford's been their best draft pick they've had in ages.
Yeah. It's really hard to throw the ball when you're running for your life the moment the ball touches your hands if you're coming out of shotgun.
And they're afraid of no rushing attack.
And I was just going to say, and they haven't really had a rushing attack. When they drafted Kerryon, yeah, he's impressive, but he also has, before he came to Detroit, a very lengthy injury history all the way back to high school. And serious injuries too. So, I questioned that, because I think, if I remember right, wasn't Darius Geis still on the board, even though now in hindsight that was, he's not a very durable back either. But
when Kerryon was drafted, no. Geis was not on the board anymore, no.
Okay, right, yeah, because everybody wanted to take him in the first round.
Yeah, Kerryon wasn't their first pick. Yeah, so no. Geis was picked before Kerryon was.
They took Ragnow instead.
Yeah. Which has turned out okay.
But, they just Quinn and Patricia think they're the smartest guys in the room just because Patricia's a freaking rocket scientist. Well, you know what? That don't necessarily.
That has nothing to do with football. I believe he's a smart guy, but that has nothing to do with football.
He's very book smart.
Yeah, but that doesn't translate to the football field.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You can be book smart. I've met numerous people that are extremely intelligent, book smart wise. Ain't got a lick of common sense.
Right. Bill Nye ain't running a football team, right? So
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I'm not sold on Patricia yet, and I'm definitely not sold on Quinn. He's made some.
I think Quinn's better than Patricia. I think Quinn at least tries.
Quinn's made some very questionable decisions. Tease Tabor in the second round. He's no longer in the NFL. The kid out of Southern Utah State, the safety, I don't think he's in the NFL anymore either. He just seems to take these guys that nobody's ever heard of way ahead of where he could.
If they utilize him, though, he stole Ty Johnson because Ty Johnson was at the top of the combine of almost every statistic out of running backs at the combine. The only reason he wasn't drafted high is because he had that injury in college. And I think they need to utilize – right now you have a chance to find out if you have something with him and you continue to split carries with him. I think you should give him a chance to get the bulk of the load.
Yeah, but, what they have given him, he's averaging 3 yards carry.
That's what every Lions running back is averaging. So
that's not the answer.
I think that's a run blocking issue. I think at this point, you've tried like 4 different guys. So
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to know because I continue to hear all the time, and not just in our chat, but other Lions fans. He doesn't win, so he's the problem in Detroit, and I don't get why football fans can't understand that that's not all on one guy. If they did, they wouldn't have 52 others playing the game.
Well, I've yet to hear the explanation as to why Craig is still against him.
Yeah, he's got no reason. In the moment he throws an incomplete pass, Craig will be in the chat being like, well, he's elite, right? But then when he throws 4 touchdown passes and 400 yards, he doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
Makes no sense to me. But
yeah, we got a couple Spartan fans that are like that. When Spartans win, we hear all about it. Or when Michigan loses, we hear all about it. But when Spartans get blown out,
when it's reversed, right?
They're not even seen in chat for a couple days.
Oh, I've been busy.
Yeah. That's one of their excuses.
Last question before we go to our picks. All right. If Foles comes back for Jacksonville and underperforms, do they go with Minshew and eat the $50+ million of contract and try to trade him? Or do they keep him on the roster as a backup making more than 90% of the starters?
Well, what else are you going to do? I mean, Seattle had to eat crow on their decision when they gave Matt Flynn all that money. And
I think he's asking, should they trade him or should they keep him and bench him?
Who's going to take on that contract?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, the Bears maybe. I bet the Bears would do it.
But
I don't know if they can afford it with Khalil Mack, but if they can, they would try.
You got to have the cap space too. I mean, I'd love to have me a Koenigsegg, but I can't quite afford one. They're $1.4 million, so I'm a little bit short. Sometimes you make bad decisions as an executive of an NFL team, and you just gotta eat that crow. It don't taste very good, but you got to do it.
And I think this was a bad decision.
I thought it was a bad signing altogether.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you take a guy that has this few starts? It's like when the Seahawks signed Matt Flynn, or when Jimmy Garoppolo got the deal, right? Maybe Garoppolo pans out, but it was still a ridiculous thing to do off of 5 games, right? Like,
yeah.
And Flynn never ended up starting a game for Seattle. Like, so,
no.
I mean, like, the fact that people can do that, like, I know Foles has had his magic in the playoffs, but if you look at him in the regular season, he is literally worse than Jay Cutler. He's only had 2013, he was phenomenal. Okay, I cannot take that away from him. That year, he balled out. 27 TDs, 2 picks.
Oh, yeah.
That was 6 years ago. He hasn't done anything since then, and he keeps living off this reputation that he's so good because of that year and then his playoff runs. Like, some people love to play under pressure, okay? And Foles is one of those people. He loves to play under the pressure of the playoff lights, right? But when that pressure's not on him like that, he doesn't play to that level anymore. He gets too comfortable and plays like a below-average quarterback. It was an awful signing.
And I know you hate this word, but in this case, it's actually the truth, in my opinion. Nick Foles is the perfect system quarterback.
You're not wrong.
I mean, you get him out of Doug Peterson's system, and, well, I don't know. I just don't see him doing very well down there, to be honest with you. Yes, he hasn't proven that he is a $50 million quarterback.
I couldn't believe they gave him that much.
I was blown away. I was like, are you kidding me?
Like, damn, bro. Bro, you could have pried Teddy Bridgewater out of New Orleans for that. Absolutely could have.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I said they could have pried Teddy Bridgewater out of New Orleans for that.
Oh, yeah. And
easily. And Teddy Bridgewater is twice the quarterback Nick Foles is.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Nick Foles really, I was shocked when he got drafted as high as he did because he wasn't even that good of a quarterback at Arizona.
Oh, I know. I was watching. I think First Things First on FS1. Nick Wright brought that up. Speaking of which, if anybody hasn't heard yet, Chris Carter left FS1. He's no longer on the show. Breaking news earlier today. Thank God, because as much as I loved him as a player, being a Viking, he's the most annoying sports analyst in the history of sports analysts ever. Seriously.
I disagree with you. ESPN's got one that I wish he would just go away forever.
Who?
Stephen A. I can't stand
God damn it, that's my favorite one, Neil.
Bro, I can't stand even his voice. You know.
Blasphemous! Blasphemous!
He is this generation's Howard Cosell.
Stephen A's the man. Don't be hating. I watch everything Stephen A does, listen to his podcast, everything. Stephen A's the man.
He's an idiot.
That's okay. Skip Bayless is an idiot too, and he's made millions off it.
Skip Bayless is he's probably worse actually. So I guess I was wrong. Bayless is worse, but Stephen A is right there. And Stephen A is good at basketball, but he needs to shut up about football and baseball because he knows nothing about either one.
Good at boxing. So, but all right, let's go to the picks. Since I'm doing it on my phone, I don't have my picks in front of me, so if you want to lead, I'll go after you.
Our first game will be the game tonight, and we have the Chargers traveling up to Baytown to play the Oakland Raiders. Chargers changed their their offensive coordinator before last week's game, and it showed. Melvin Gordon had, it was like 20, he was in the neighborhood of 20 touches, so which was by far his season high. Oakland came off an emotional win against the Lions last week. I'm not going to get too far in depth in this, but the Chargers really need this game. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers in this one.
All right, we're already going to be off to a different start already. I got Oakland.
Good. Good.
I think, huh?
I said good.
Oh, okay. I think Gruden's got this team rolling. Okay, he's done something. They call him the quarterback guru. I'm believing it because Derek Carr was hot garbage, and Gruden has done something, and Carr's been balling. Like, he's making good decisions. He's like second or third in the league in completion percentage. He's seeing the defense very well, making good decisions despite not having a number one receiver on that team. Josh Jacobs is running like a madman out of the backfield. That was a great draft pick for the Raiders. By the way, Mike Mayock might have been the best GM signing I've seen in a long time because Gruden only lacks the ability to draft really as a coach, and then you hire a draft expert to do it, and it's really paying off. And I really like that move. But Oakland's just on fire right now, and I don't think Phillip Rivers isn't the old Phillip Rivers. He's clearly not the same guy. The Chargers already want to move on from him, and I don't know if he can put up enough points, even with the new offensive coordinator, to score with the way that Oakland's offense has been the last month. So I got Oakland tonight.
Well, I think this game's going to go really quickly because I think both teams are going to run the ball. I don't think you're going to see Derek Carr pass it very much because unless he's absolutely got to, for the simple fact that Bosa and Melvin Ingram are just playing like men possessed right now. I don't think Gruden wants to get Carr killed. And if he tries to drop Carr back 25, 30 times this game, that might happen.
But what about the Chargers? The Raiders had the seventh ranked. The Raiders had the 7th ranked rush defense and the 30th ranked pass defense.
Good. I think they're. I don't know, to be honest with you. But I think you're going to see a big mix between Melvin Gordon, Eckler, and then Hunter Henry is hit the ground running since he come back off of IR. He's playing. That kid's balling out. He's actually finally living up to all the hype that we were getting about him.
Yep, he's just got to stay healthy. I agree.
Keenan Allen has disappeared. Absolutely just disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't know what his problem is. Mike Williams needs to step up to to step up to honor the high draft pick that they made on him. I mean, he hasn't done anything since he's been drafted, really.
Yeah.
He had a couple good games at the end last year when he came down and went down, but, consistency is what this league's all about. If you're not consistent, you're not going to be around very long.
I agree.
So, okay, our second one, we've got the Lions going to Chicago. I'll let you go ahead and talk first.
All right. Yeah, I kind of went over this earlier. Trubisky, not good if his number one's covered. Slay will be covering Robinson. I think that poses a terrible matchup. He would, if he was better at reading, he'd be able to tear up this Lions defense, but he's not. And I don't trust him in situations like that. Nor do I trust Nagy to run the ball up on Detroit like every other team has been able to do. So Stafford's playing at an MVP level. I know he's not getting MVP talk because he's on a losing team, but he's playing just as well as Russell Wilson and everybody does. I think that's too much for the Bears. Stafford outscores the Bears in this game. Lions win.
Yeah, I'm going to go and say that I'm going to actually put my eggs in a basket and hope that Nagy is more intelligent than I've given him credit for, and he actually watched some game film and saw how David Montgomery ran in the second half of that game last week, and then realizes that he's got garbage at quarterback who is a one-read quarterback, can't, seem to get on beyond Allen Robinson to look over Anthony Miller or even Trey Burton. What if he runs the ball the way he should run the ball in that defense? I think Chicago will pull this one out. It's going to be a low-scoring affair, in my opinion. So I'm going to take Chicago because they're at home. It's Windy City.
Good.
Second, our next game is Baltimore-Cincinnati. We're not going to spend a lot of time in this one. It's Baltimore all day. Cincinnati. They're winless, and they're going to remain winless.
Baltimore.
All right. Cool. Buffalo-Cleveland. Go ahead.
I got Buffalo in this game. Cleveland has not been good against good defenses this year, and that's just. I mean, I sorry, Neil. That's just how it's been this year. So I don't see it being any different here. I don't think Buffalo is going to score a lot of points. It'll be a low-scoring game, but I got Buffalo pulling it out in this game because of their defense. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm not. I'm just ignoring you.
Oh, okay. I was confused at what you're doing. I thought you were playing with your phone for a second.
No.
But sorry, man. I want to pick Cleveland. I wish they were going to do good this year. And they have a really cupcake schedule after this game. But, I mean, and I don't think Buffalo's that great, but the defense is too good. And the way that Baker and the offensive line has been playing, unless I know they can't stop the run very good, they will have to ride Chubb the entire way to have a chance. I don't think it's like impossible for Cleveland to win this game. But if I'm banking my picks on it, I'm not taking them. So.
Well, I'm going to remain true. Buffalo does have a very good pass defense, but they don't have a good run defense. And Cleveland happens to be, Walter Riches when it comes to running backs. They have Kareem Hunt and they have Nick Chubb. Both are starting quality running backs. Freddie Kitchens has said that Kareem Hunt will have a role in this game. So whether that be they flex him out and maybe us as a slot receiver or some little dump offs to him, because when that kid gets in the open field with the ball, he's electric, he's dangerous, and he can get to the house real fast. I expect to see, because at this point, what has Cleveland got to lose? I expect to see some trickeration, not your normal type, snap back or drop back and throw the ball type plays. So,
right.
Cleveland, Vegas has Cleveland as 2.5 point favorite. They're at home. I'm going to take them.
Okay.
Next one is Kansas City at Tennessee. For the reasons I spoke of earlier, this is my upset of the week.
We're
Or
different
one
on every
mindset.
pick. I love this.
What's that?
That we're different on every pick so far. I love this.
Well, I think Tennessee, they got an upgraded quarterback in Tannehill. He seems to be connecting with their receivers, not just throwing the ball, but as far as mentally, they're connecting. A.J. Brown's starting to show himself. And I don't know if you've seen any of their games. That dude is a freaking tank when he catches
Corey
the ball.
Davis disappeared all season. Where'd he go?
A.J. Brown, 6 foot, 222 pounds. That is a tank of a man. I think, Tennessee's got a really good defense. Kansas City has a really porous defense.
But they've been playing better.
Yes, to an extent. But I see Tennessee playing keep away with using Henry, and Deion Lewis has actually showed up a little bit in the last couple weeks. So give me Tennessee in a tight one.
All right, I got Kansas City. Their defense has improved a lot late the last few games. They shut down Delvin Cook last week, and it was a big key to their victory. And I feel like if they play the same defense this week and shut down Derrick Henry, they're going to have a lot of success. Patrick Mahomes is back. That's huge. Anybody would tell you that. I know Matt Morris played very well for Kansas City, about as well as they could have asked him to play. But he's still no Patrick Mahomes. That's going to lift the whole team. Yeah, I just got Kansas City. I just think they're just way more talented than Tennessee. It's a talent issue for me at this point. So, Kansas City.
All right. Well, the next one we probably weren't going to spend too much time on this one either. It's Atlanta at New Orleans. I'll let you take it.
New Orleans. Atlanta's given up. They don't care about their coach anymore. If I were Atlanta, I'd put Matt. I know they're not gonna, but if I were them and I ran their team, I'd put Matt Ryan on IR for the year and tank.
Yep.
But they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. But that's what they should do. They're gonna get Matt Ryan killed out there, and he's the only semi-bright spot they have right now outside of Julio Jones. And but that's just me. I think they'll put up points, but again, Matt Ryan doesn't like to put up points until they're already down, like 3 touchdowns. So Drew Brees will probably have 4 TDs at the half, and then Matt Ryan will be like, I'm going to go out and throw 3 touchdowns now. So it'll be like 45-21 ball range somewhere. Kamara's back. I don't think it'd matter whether he was back or not, but that's just the added little kick for New Orleans. So, Saints.
Yeah, I agree with you. Everything you said about Matt Ryan. Atlanta should put him on mothballs for the rest of the year. He's not healthy at all, and they're going to put him out there. New Orleans actually has a pretty good defense and a pretty persistent pass rush. That's just a recipe for disaster, if you ask me. Matt Ryan's not the most mobile guy in the world to begin with, and you're gonna put a statue back there that's got a target on him. It's not smart. New Orleans. Kamara's gonna play, and New Orleans has got a wealth of riches right now. So I'll take the Saints as well. Our next game is the Battle of the Boroughs. We got the New York Giants and the New York Football Jets. I actually personally believe that the Jets have given up on Adam Gase.
Oh, I thought you were picking them. Woo!
Oh, no. They've got some talent there. I'm not sure on what I didn't hear whether or not Le'Veon Bell practiced today. I know they said he was going to practice in a limited fashion, but I didn't hear if he did or not. He's got some issues with his ankle and with his knee. So,
I don't think it matters, to be honest with you.
Well, I don't either, but, neither team really has the defense. It's just who has the better offense, and I think that goes to the Giants. Even with Le'Veon Bell healthy, the Giants have a better running back in Saquon Barkley.
Miles better running back, Brent.
Yeah, Brent. They have the better receiver in Golden Tate. Sterling Shepard's not going to play. Evan Ingram is not going to play. But look for
that just means Darius Slayton will get a lot of targets. Yep.
Darius Slayton's going to step up. Brett Ellison actually did okay in Ingram's absence the last time. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Giants. I think they're actually going to win big in this one.
Oh, yeah. I don't think this game will be close either. Daniel Jones is going to have another one of his shining star games. Is it just me or the Giants the most fragile team in the league?
No. Washington's the most fragile team in the league, but the Giants.
Okay, well, they're right there. Like,
they're right there with them. I don't know what's going on.
Every decent name player on the Giants gets hurt. Yep. Sterling Shepard was supposed to be his breakout year. That dude can't stay on the field to save his life. Evan Ingram has been hurt half the year. Barkley got hurt. It's like, geez, man. Like,
it seems to me, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but NFL wide, it seems like the concussions, the severe concussions, are up.
Which makes no sense. But to be honest with you, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon Cooks is missing multiple weeks. Shepard.
Brandon Cooks' career might be over.
Yeah. There's guys that are just taking some really, really serious shots. And
Hawkinson's gotten two this year, and he's a rookie.
Yeah, I don't think that helmet they switched to, or the two helmets that they mandate, are doing a very good job.
Don't side with Antonio Brown.
I'm not siding with him. I think he's an idiot. So I'm glad. I'm going to laugh when I see him playing for the Montreal Alouettes.
Dude, the XFL just had their draft. He missed it. What was he doing?
What's that?
The XFL just had their draft. He missed it. I don't know what's going on. But I think the Giants win this game big. Like, big. So, now that we're back on track.
Yeah, you're breaking up again.
Go ahead. Next one.
Next one, we got the Cardinals at Tampa Bay. I'll let you go ahead and start on this one.
Okay. This is a hard game to pick because both teams show flashes at times of being very good offensive football teams. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, some of what you're saying.
All right, I'll try to get through this. But I think Kyler Murray is the better quarterback, and I think Arizona's riding a lot of confidence because they've played really well and hung in there with some really good teams. They almost beat San Francisco last week, so I think that they feel like they can easily come in here and beat Tampa Bay. They just played much better football. They don't turn the ball over like Tampa Bay does. I think Arizona wins this game and they move within a game of being 500.
Yeah, I'm going to take Arizona too. They're getting David Johnson back, and him and Kenyon Drake are going to be complimenting each other coming out of the backfield. That is just a wicked, wicked backfield. I compare that to the Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb backfield. I mean, what better two running backs can you ask for?
Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison? That's right.
No, Jesus. And how much run has Alexander Madison got?
He's got like 12 carries, 13 carries, but he's beasting it up.
Right.
8 yards a carry.
Moving on. No, I agree with you. Arizona's got the better quarterback. Jameis Winston, he likes to throw interceptions like he likes crab legs. So we're just going to, leave it at that, and I'm going to take Arizona. Our next game is Miami-Indy. We're not going to waste a lot of time here. Indianapolis all day.
Indy. Moving on.
Felipe, if Indy wins, don't even bother coming out on our show.
Felipe's going to love it.
I don't want you.
Bro, he made a video about beating the goddamn Jets. That's right.
Felipe, you show up. I'm going to be get off my lawn guy.
Okay.
All
Next
right, our
game.
next game. You go ahead and take this one. Carolina at Green Bay.
It's tracking to be a snowstorm in Green Bay. So Green Bay. And I don't have to say anything other than that. Carolina's warm. Like,
Yeah. I mean, really, the only thing Carolina's got, Kyle Allen has come back to earth a little bit.
he played well last week.
Yeah, he did, but it just doesn't seem like DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel are really, I mean, they're okay, but they need to be better than okay. They're relying way too much on Christian McCaffrey, if you ask me. That kid is not going to last very long if they keep giving him the ball this much. I mean, the human body can only take so much. I don't care how fit you are. But, yeah.
Christian McCaffrey's like midget Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Green Bay was absolutely humiliated last week.
They're going to be pissed.
I assure you, it was a very spirited practice yesterday and today. And I also assure you that Aaron Rodgers had his thumb on it and made sure everybody was in check because he called himself out last week.
He did.
That would,
he never does that. That's weird.
Bakhtiari and that offensive line, you're under the microscope now because I assure you, every time you mess up from here on out, he's going to be calling you out in the huddle. So, give me Green Bay in this one because they're home and because of the weather.
I do want to say Christian McCaffrey, especially if it's a snowstorm, will keep Carolina in this game. This will not be a blowout, but Green Bay's going to win.
All right, our next one is the Rams at Pittsburgh. The Rams are so decimated with injuries right now.
No James Conner, though.
Yeah, and there's no James Conner, but, it's in Pittsburgh, but I just think the Rams have too much firepower, too much defense, even though Pittsburgh's defense has really stepped up since Minka Fitzpatrick joined the team.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, that was a very good ad. I just think the Rams have too much for Pittsburgh to be able to handle, so I'll take the Rams.
I got the Rams too. I actually picked Pittsburgh, and then when James Conner was ruled out, I switched. So I think this game is going to be very close, and I thought James Conner could make the difference for them. I know that he's not the best running back in the world, but they seem to play better when James Conner is around offensively. So we'll have to see how that goes, but the Rams aren't the same Rams either before. So, I wouldn't be shocked if Pittsburgh did win at the same time because these games that you think the Rams should win, they just don't perform as well in. And the games that they shouldn't win, you see how they perform, against Tampa Bay, and then they go out and they almost beat Seattle. It's like, I don't understand it at all. Just based on talent alone, I'm going to take the Rams, but I'm not going to be shocked if it goes the other way.
All right. I'll let you take this next one. It is Minnesota at Dallas.
Perfect. Dallas is a garbage can. Just want to point that in there. I'm tired.
Is Lynn watching?
Huh?
Is Lynn watching?
No, she's not, but she will watch it. She'll watch it later.
I want to see those DMs.
I had to listen all week about how Dallas beat the Giants, okay? Look, if it wasn't for a black cat, you guys wouldn't even won the goddamn game. So, let's just be real. You struggle with the Giants, okay? I'm tired of Dallas fans thinking they're the best team in the world because they beat trash teams. Come beat a real team this week. We want the smoke, okay? You're not going to beat us. Dak Prescott, he doesn't perform well when you can't run the football. Outside of Vikings game against Kansas City last week, you can't run the football on Minnesota. Last week was a fluke game, and they really didn't allow Kansas City to run. They only had 145 yards, and 91 was on one run. So if you take away that run, they did a pretty good job most of the game of shutting down their run there too. So you can't really run the ball on them. And we've seen Dak perform when there's no running game, and it's not pretty. And the Vikings secondary is not like Colin Cowherd brought this up last week. The Vikings are the only team in the league that has elite players at every position on their team. So you don't have and then the Vikings' one weakness has been Xavier Rhodes this year, and I looked up some statistics on him after you brought that up because I knew he was bad, but I couldn't believe how bad the statistics said he was. So I looked up some advanced statistics, and he is struggling bad against super speedy wide receivers. They're torching him, and Dallas doesn't really have that. So he's doing a pretty good job at shutting down physical receivers. So I can't even see them even being able to use him as a weakness against them. I don't think it's going to be a good game for Dak. Cousins has played very well the last 5-6 games of the season. So he's been fire. I don't think Thielen's going to play. He's not officially out, but he hasn't practiced all week. They're not going to rule him out till game time, but I don't think he's going to play. That'll be a slight advantage for Dallas. They're going to run Delvin Cook. He hasn't had 2 bad games in a row all season, so I expect him to run. And they're doing a good job of getting their tight ends involved now. Irv Smith's getting some catches. Kyle Rudolph's getting some catches, so I expect them to explode. Vikings 23, Dallas 20 in this game, I think. So I know because you want a jersey, you're going to take Dallas. So I'll just let you go ahead and explain your wrong reasonings.
All right, I literally caught 2% of that. You sounded like a mumble rapper on auto-tune.
Hey, I got a future.
So, no, I'm serious. I mean, well, I'm not trying to be funny, but that's what you sounded like. I didn't really understand most of what you were saying. But Minnesota is a top team, and they've got a stud at running back. They're not going to have Adam Thielen in this game, and for whatever reason, Stephon Diggs, I think, had 1 target.
Missed you. Damn, we almost got to the end. I know he's got Dallas in. I got San Francisco because it's at home. I think the game will be very close. It'll come down to the end. I think San Francisco's defense is much better in Seattle. And that's what it'll come down to, in my opinion. I could always be wrong, but I expect a very good game out of that. And I know Neil took San Francisco too. Thanks, everybody, for joining us and watching us. We appreciate all the support you guys have been giving us all year, even despite some technical difficulties that we're having. Neil and I will post our picks on Facebook, and we'll post them there for you guys to see. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it.